Welcome to this discussion on a topic that strikes at the heart of India's global stance today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's sharp critique of the European Union's double standards when it comes to India versus Pakistan. As proud Indians, we must unpack this issue with clarity and conviction, because it's not just about diplomacy, it's about fairness, respect, and India's rightful place on the world stage. Let's dive in. Imagine this. A horrific terrorist attack rocks Pahalgam, India, on April 22, 2025. 26 innocent civilians are massacred by Pakistan-backed Islamist militants. The nation mourns, but the European Union's response? A tepid call for both India and Pakistan to show restraint. Restraint? When India is the victim of a calculated act of terror, this is the kind of hypocrisy Jaishankar has been calling out, and it's time we amplify his voice. Jaishankar has made it clear, India wants partners, not preachers. He's tired of Europe lecturing India while ignoring its own contradictions. In May 2025, he told a global forum that Europe needs a reality check in how it engages with the world. Back in 2022, he put it even more bluntly. Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. Think about that. When Europe faces a crisis, it demands global attention. But when India bleeds from terrorism fueled by Pakistan, the EU shrugs and says, de-escalate. This is not just unfair, it's insulting. Let's talk about the EU's double standards in action. Look at how Europe fights terrorism at home. After a French schoolteacher was beheaded in 2020, France didn't hesitate. They shut down mosques, raided extremist networks, and declared war on Islamist separatism. Austria, too, closed 7 mosques in 2018 and expelled radical imams to crush political Islam. These are bold, uncompromising moves to protect their people. But when Pakistan harbors terrorists who strike India, like in Pahalgam, or the 2008 Mumbai attacks, or Pulwama in 2019, what does Europe do? It stays silent, or worse, calls for dialogue. Why is terrorism an existential threat in Paris or Vienna, but a mere regional issue when it hits India? This is the hypocrisy Jaishankar is exposing. Then there's the EU's obsession with India's internal affairs. In 2020, the European Parliament tabled 6 resolutions criticizing India's policies on Kashmir and the Citizenship Amendment Act. Over 600 MEPs voted to condemn India, calling our laws discriminatory and warning of a statelessness crisis. They lectured us on human rights, press freedom, and protests. But where are the EU resolutions condemning Pakistan's role in exporting terror? Where is the outrage over Pakistan's blasphemy laws or its persecution of minorities like Hindus and Ahmadis? Nowhere. The EU's silence on Pakistan's actions is deafening, while it's quick to preach to India, the world's largest democracy. This selective scrutiny is what Jaishankar calls preaching without practicing. Let's put this in perspective. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the EU didn't ask Ukraine to show restraint. It armed Kyiv, sanctioned Moscow, and took a clear moral stand. But when India faces Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, the EU plays neutral, urging both sides to calm down. Why is aggression condemned in Europe but terror from Pakistan met with diplomatic platitudes? Jaishankar nailed it when he said Europe's principles seem to stop at its water's edge. If terrorism is a global evil, why is it treated with kid gloves when Pakistan is involved? This isn't just about one attack or one statement, it's about a pattern. Historically, the West, including many EU states, has been soft on Pakistan. During the Cold War and the Afghanistan conflict, Pakistan was a strategic ally, so its role in fostering militancy against India was overlooked. Even after major attacks like Mumbai or Pulwama, Western responses were often lukewarm, pushing dialogue over accountability. India has had enough. As Jaishankar says, we're not a nation to be preached at anymore. We're a rising power, a proud democracy, and we demand equal respect. So what's the bigger picture? India's assertive diplomacy under Jaishankar and Prime Minister Modi is a signal to the world. We will call out hypocrisy, whether it's from Brussels or beyond. When Jaishankar tells off a reporter or reminds the EU that you cannot be selectively blind to terrorism, he's speaking for every Indian who's tired of double standards. He's telling Europe to apply one yardstick. Condemn terrorism unequivocally, whether it strikes in Paris or Pulwama. Respect sovereign decisions, whether they're made in Brussels or New Delhi. As Indians, we must rally behind this vision. Our nation is no longer a passive player on the global stage. We're the fifth largest economy, a technological powerhouse, and a beacon of democratic values. When Jaishankar demands fairness, he's not just defending India's honor, he's reshaping how the world sees us. So let's stand tall and say it loud. No more double standards, no more preaching. Europe, if you want to be India's partner, treat us as equals. Condemn terrorism with the same vigor you show at home. Hold Pakistan accountable just as you would any aggressor. And respect India's sovereignty, just as we respect yours. In closing, let's take inspiration from Jaishankar's words. We don't look for preachers, particularly preachers who don't practice at home what they preach abroad. India is rising, and we will not be silenced. Let's keep pushing for a world where fairness prevails, where terrorism is fought without bias, and where India's voice is heard loud and clear.